Hi, and welcome to our video on Advanced 3-Level Reading Guide. Now, this video isn't for people that are new to the 3-Level Reading Guide and want to be walked through what literal, inferential, or evaluative means. Instead, what we'll be doing here is elaborating and explaining on what makes a really good and strong 3-level guide. Now, to help us develop a really advanced 3-level guide, we need to have some strong knowledge in the novel's context. So what we mean by the context are the themes. We're talking about the background of the novel. So is it set during the Great Depression? Is it set during World War II? The more we know about these things, the better our 3-level guide. We should also know about the author's background. Any connected literature. Is this book something from the Romantic time period? What other books or novels could we connect and infer and interpret from? And finally, we need to have a good knowledge in literary devices, identifying them and knowing what they are. So to complete this 3-level reading guide, we're going to use a passage or excerpt from To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. So let's have a read of it. Jem let me do the honours. I pulled out 2 small images carved in soap. One was the figure of a boy. The other wore a crude dress. Before I remembered that there was no such thing as hoodooing, I shrieked and threw them down. Jem snatched them up. "What's the matter with you?" he yelled. He rubbed the figures free of dust. "These are good," he said. "I've never seen any of these good." He held them down to me. They were almost perfect miniatures of 2 children. The boy had on shorts, and a shock of soapy hair fell to his eyebrows. I looked up at Jem. A point of straight brown hair kicked downwards from his parting. I had never noticed it before. Jem looked from the girl doll to me. The girl doll wore bangs. So did I. "These are us," he said. So a strong literal interpretation will focus on the plot and what has happened, but will also consider the deeper themes or concepts from the text. So from the excerpt that I've just read out, I would probably be focusing on Jem and Scout's relationship, the tree knot plot, and the characterisation of Boo Radley. Let's now turn those ideas into a paragraph. Within this passage, Jem and Scout display their close filial relationship. Jem, as the protective and wise older brother, encourages Scout to collect today's item from the tree knot. Previously, Jem has not allowed Scout to do this. After some time, Jem now permits her to collect the item. Scout was frightened of the replica soaps found as she dropped them and suspected that they might be hoodoo. Jem, however, was again a brave older brother and supported Scout to understand that the soaps were not dangerous and were actually a gift. Further to this, the tree knot plotline follows Scout and Jem's discovery of small hidden items. Scout was happy to embrace the tree knot, however Jem was not, displaying wisdom like his father Atticus with his caution. We slowly begin to believe that the items in the tree knot are from Boo Radley. The soap children are the first item which is truly personalised to Jem and Scout, and showed them that the items are intended for them and no one else. The tree knot pushes the entire plot forward by increasing the relationship between the children and Boo. Now we'll move on to the inferential level of our reading guide. A strong inferential approach will identify literary devices, display an understanding of characterization and emotions, and it will also elaborate on the themes and key messages within the passage. So if we were to use the same excerpt we used before, the 3 things I will be talking about will be the soap and tree knot symbolism, the juxtaposition of characters and personalities, and I believe the key message in that excerpt is to not judge a book by its cover. So let's have a look at these in paragraph form. Harper Lee employs symbolism within this passage through the tree knot and soap children. The tree knot symbolises a communication platform between Jem and Scout and Boo Radley. It is interesting that the symbol is one from nature, perhaps commenting on how society or man-made items can corrupt youth, whilst nature is pure and innocent. I do wonder why the items are made of soap, not wooden carvings or another object. Perhaps this is to further develop the concept of cleanliness and purity of Jem and Scout. In addition to this, Harper Lee juxtaposes Jem and Scout's personalities within this passage. Scout's nature is childlike as she immediately reacts negatively to the soap children, believing in hoodooing and throwing them down. Comparatively, Jem is adult and mature, reflecting more of his father's disposition as he calmly admires the soap, commenting on how good they are. This act represents his respect for talent and skill, regardless of where it came from, a personality trait very similar to his father's. The key message in this passage is not to judge harshly and quickly. Boo Radley was judged to be an ominous character. However, as this scene reveals, he is kind-hearted. Further to this, Scout, in her naivety, quickly assesses the soaps to be menacing when they are not. This is evidence that this passage and the novel overall contends that we should not so harshly judge those that we do not understand. Now we'll move on to the final evaluative level of our reading guide. A strong evaluative response is based mostly external to the text, so there's less quoting of the passage, but there is a solid understanding of the text overall. It's usually opinion-based. A strong response will also explain the reasons and justifications for that opinion and evaluation. So the two ideas that I'm going to explore are that this passage displays Harper Lee's truth strength as an author, and that Harper Lee has created a vivid and layered literary world. So, when writing about the evaluative level, I have mentioned my literal and my inferred level as well. This shows us that in order to reach the evaluative level, we need to have done the others to an adequate level as well. Here we go. Harper Lee's literary beauty lies within her ability to present complex societal problems in a simplistic and meaningful manner. Her writing simultaneously develops characterization by juxtaposing the siblings' varied reactions whilst developing our knowledge of prejudice. Further to this, she has layered the symbolism of the tree knot and soap children to reflect a crucial message: to be cautious when judging others. Her writing is simplistically beautiful in how effectively she presents multi-layered ideas within such a short passage. I hope that this guide on the 3-level reading has really helped you to see what the difference is between a basic and a more complex reading. All the best.